Newsmakers for this Thursday, January 16th, 2025. I'm Louie Butko, and on today's show, I'm very pleased to be joined by the president of Niagara College, Sean Kennedy. This month marks 5 years since Kennedy became the 6th president in the school's history. Prior to that, he spent nearly 15 years as a member of the college's senior leadership team with various roles, including in enrollment, and registration, student services, alumni services, athletics, marketing, and recruitment, and international. Prior to coming to Niagara, Kennedy spent a decade at the University of Alberta and was Dean of Students and then Associate Vice President at Red Deer College in Alberta. Mr. Kennedy, thank you so much for making the time with me today. I will let people know I am a very proud Niagara College graduate, so great to have you on the show.
Louie, it's great to be here. It's always great to talk to Niagara College alumni.
Absolutely. Started there with 5 years on the job this month. Half a decade you've been serving as president. Of course, you got the job in January 2020. We all know what happened in the months that followed. A stressful time to jump right into it. But when you look back at your 5 years here, what jumps to your front of your mind?
Really that despite some remarkable, unpredictable challenges like the pandemic, the strength of our Niagara College team in navigating through these challenges and always keeping students at the front of our decision making, keeping true to our values of being student focused and ensuring that we're always finding ways to be welcoming and trailblazing and to draw strength from the passionate characteristics, the shared pride that we have across the Niagara College community.
Absolutely. When you look at what Niagara College has accomplished, despite some challenges with international students and caps that have been put on by the federal government, we'll get into that in just a second. But just last month, number one college for research and innovation, and I was there a couple of years ago doing the story when it was the first time you guys had won. Now it's back-to-back years. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you, being recognized as the number one research college when it comes to Canada.
It's a source of immense pride for all of us. Also, I think something that the community takes great pride in. To be the top-ranked college in Canada for the second year in a row in applied research, and actually the third time in 5 years, shows the consistent quality of our applied research and innovation, and very importantly, the connection that we have to local employers, to SMEs, and to larger industries, in fulfilling our mission to work locally through strong partnerships and across the province and sometimes across the country to strengthen our economy in different ways by helping SMEs develop new products or helping larger industries become more efficient. Always thinking about ways that we can contribute to the health of our economy, to growing our different industries, with the importance around supporting our employers, and ultimately helping address the productivity challenge that Canadian companies often face.
I was drinking out of my mug this morning, and it said, "Be world ready, Niagara College." I have a few of those. But that is really a tagline that the college has embraced when it comes to its expansion and when it comes to, basically different campuses throughout the world. You were a big part of that. Obviously, international students, we're going to get to, like I said, in a second. It's being talked about a lot these days. But when it comes to Niagara College's place on the global map, where have you seen the most growth, and where are you most proud of its successes?
I'm really proud of the fact that we've taken a very holistic approach to internationalization. We've been involved in international work and in building international partnerships and doing work across the globe, as well as providing opportunities for Canadian students to gain really invaluable global experience. We've been doing this for decades. We've been a leader in international education and really have always put quality and the ability for us to be a strong partner when we're partnering overseas, but also to do a great job in welcoming and supporting international students when they come to study with us. It's always been a very comprehensive and balanced perspective and approach that we've taken. And I'm very, very proud of our international team and proud of our college community for really setting the college apart on the global stage and building such strong two-way partnerships across the globe.
So let's get into the international students. Of course, if people don't know, last year there was a cap placed on international students. In a statement to us, Niagara College said federal changes to Canada's international student program are causing significant enrollment and budget challenges for colleges, and Niagara College is not immune. However, as we look to balance our budgets for 2025, 2026, and beyond, our focus is on solutions that maintain our ability to attract and support students and prioritize our people. So you admit that yes, this has been a challenge. What have been the challenges when it comes to this international student cap?
Certainly, and I should begin by saying that in terms of some of the early announcements that were made by the federal government through Immigration, Refugees, Citizenship Canada, IRCC, we were very supportive of some of those early changes because we really want to ensure that, like the federal government, that there's real integrity to the international student program on a national level. And I think they introduced some really positive changes to strengthen the integrity of our international student program. But then one of the challenges was that there was a set of further announcements that really, I think, it disproportionately disadvantaged the college system, which I feel was misguided. And will ultimately hurt local employers because they've not just put overall caps, but they've really restricted the programs that are where international students can be eligible upon graduation for postgraduate work permits, and that will really impact some industries like hospitality and tourism and other industries that really rely on our graduates, both domestic and international, to fulfill their workforce needs. So we continue to call on the federal government to make some adjustments to that. But in the meantime, we've pivoted. We're always agile as an organization, and we have been already for the last number of years. We've really put an extra emphasis on our brand development and marketing and recruitment as we try and grow our domestic students, and we remain focused on that while we try and stabilize our international enrollment. So we've introduced a multi-pronged strategy to stabilize international enrollments and really continue to grow. We've had amazing momentum with domestic students, and to continue to leverage that and to grow our domestic student numbers.
Just yesterday, the Globe and Mail came out with a report that said 50,000 international students were considered no-shows. They failed to report. That being across all of colleges, all of universities in Canada. Again, this is not a Niagara College problem, but how concerning is that, those 50,000 international students who just didn't show up to colleges or universities?
I think it's something that all Canadians want to ensure that we lower those numbers, and we continue to want to work alongside other colleges and all universities, work with the federal government to minimize that number. But it's important to know that number is out of 1 million international students across Canada, so I want to give it some perspective. But we certainly want to work closely with IRCC to further strengthen the integrity of the international student program and to ensure, we, along with all other colleges and universities, put a lot of time and effort into working with a prospective international student, guiding them, assessing their documents through the admissions process. And then once they're admitted, guiding them through the transition from wherever they are to making a transition. And it's a big life transition, making that transition to be successful as a student here in Canada. So we put a lot of time and effort into to that journey for each individual student. So we certainly don't want to have students that we think are going to be showing up and then they don't show up. And that's true for all colleges and universities, as it is for the government. So we want to work together to minimize that number.
Putting some important context there, of course, 50,000 out of 1 million international students, and that's, again, across all colleges and universities across the country. That being said, some colleges are being forced to make very tough decisions. We saw it right here in Hamilton, in Mohawk, with layoffs, cancellations of programs. Seneca, just this week, Algonquin announcing they're closing their Perth campus between Kingston and Ottawa there. Obviously, Niagara College not immune, but what do you see drastic changes happening in the coming months, in the coming year, because of this international student cap?
Yeah, we're going to take a very balanced approach and systematic approach while we allow some of our domestic enrollment growth strategies to have their full impact upon our enrollments. And as we continue to leverage our strong global brand to bolster our international student enrollments. So we don't want to react too quickly, but we are going to react in terms of looking at cuts. We are going to look at growth and building on our brand. Canada's #1 college in applied research. That alone, of course, helps differentiate us in the marketplace. But at the same time, we also are looking at a number of expenditure management strategies through our budget process. But we want to take a very systematic approach and a thoughtful approach and be very strategic around how we kind of navigate through these new, very strong financial headwinds.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned domestic students, your push towards domestic growth. Does that have anything to do with the number of commercials I have seen during football games, or the advertisements on World Junior boards, or the billboards driving through Niagara? Just how it seems like you have put a real strong push when it comes to marketing domestic. I'm not asking for specifics, but have you started to see the results of these strong pushes?
We absolutely have. Beginning 3 years ago, coming out of the pandemic, we wanted to make domestic student enrollment a real priority, and we made additional investments, put additional resources into our marketing and also into our student recruitment teams. And we're starting to see the dividends of those investments. From last January to this January, we've had a 25% increase in domestic students being admitted into the winter term. Last fall, we were well above, 3 times above the provincial average in terms of domestic student growth. So we certainly have seen the return on our investments in domestic student marketing and recruitment.
Listen, I'm watching the football game, watching the Bills with my buddies. Literally every time a Niagara College ad comes out, I yell NC State pretty loudly. You know, I'm proud there, Sean.
We always say our alumni are our very best ambassadors, so please keep it up, Louie.
Oh, stop, Sean. The one thing I always found when I was going through high school was that you were almost encouraged not to go to college. That's not the right word, but there was the way they listed classes when I was in high school anyway, university, college. Like, how have you been able to push back on that sort of idea that, you got to go to university at a high school? Especially, you have been there almost more than 20 years now. How have you noticed the change in how college is talked about when it comes to high school and further education?
I think there's been an enormous change over the years. I think that high school guidance counselors and teachers and parents are starting to understand the value proposition of colleges. And more than ever before, a large proportion of our students have university degrees or have some portion of a university degree, and then have realized that, in fact, what they really want to do is follow their passion in a particular field and come to Niagara College or come to other colleges to give them the hands-on skills, those technical skills that will get them the job. And our grads get jobs in significant numbers in all fields. And we also offer programs that are tightly aligned with sectors of the economy where there's real labor force need. So I think there's both a passion of our students that come to us when they realize this is really what they want to do. They love the experiential learning, and then also a really pragmatic decision by many to realize that the college education is their pathway to the workforce and getting a job.
Not to mention the number of bachelor degree programs now offered at colleges, transfer programs, all that sort of stuff. You have been in the job 5 years. We started the conversation there. You are about a fifth of the way of your predecessor and how long he was there. So about a fifth of the way until they named the Welland campus after you. But why are you encouraged for the next 5, 10, 15 years? What with all the challenges that you're facing, why are you encouraged about the future of Niagara College moving forward?
I'm going to go back to really one of the things I said at the beginning, which is I always draw strength from the incredible shared pride in the energy and the enthusiasm and the student focus and the commitment of our employees, but also that incredible pride and passion of our alumni and our current students and our employers and partners that engage with Niagara College. Niagara College is a really special place. It has a remarkable organizational culture, and ultimately, so much in life is about relationships and motivation and people really rallying together to create something spectacular. And I see that every day. I see examples of that every day at Niagara College. And also a real commitment to being trailblazing, to doing things differently, to being the first in the country to offer a program or to find new ways of delivering our education. And we're very competitive. We love to be number one. We love to really establish ourselves and differentiate ourselves. And there's a real shared pride and momentum and enthusiasm around that. Not only number one in applied research this year for the second year in a row, as you mentioned, but today we were recognized as, again, for the third year in a row as one of Hamilton, Niagara's top employers. So that the strength of our employees and our organizational culture continues to be a source of great pride and great motivation and energy for me.
Not to mention, biasly speaking, one of the most beautiful campuses on the escarpment there in Niagara-on-the-Lake with the vineyards and the greenhouse and the restaurants. Yeah.
It's a tough place to be. I mean, of course, when we're having a really rough day, we can always go and have a Niagara College wine or beer or cider or one of our distilled spirits in a cocktail over at our Wine Visitor Education Center, which we always encourage, and is actually one of the reasons that I think we have such a strong support from across our communities, such amazing connections with our communities, is that we have our learning enterprises on campus. You mentioned some of them also are, we have a greenhouse and a spa and a whole variety of learning enterprises that are open to the public throughout the week. And that means that every week we have thousands of visitors that are coming onto our campuses, engaging with our students, seeing the quality of our facilities and our programs, and seeing our amazing campuses.
Well, I can say somebody in the School of Trades pushed heavily for me to do a segment on the hair styling program. I'll leave that at that. But let's just say someone pressured me, and I didn't end up doing it. But I know they're doing great work in that department there in Welland too. So you mentioned
also an excellent learning enterprise for us. I don't personally use our hairstyling salon very often, but it's very popular. And again, it's another example of those It's one of the things that we do better than any college in the country. The number of learning enterprises that we have on campus is part of the secret sauce of what makes Niagara College so successful. This entrepreneurial focus and providing on-campus businesses that are open to the public throughout the week, but give our students real-life work experiences and learning experiences.
Sean Kennedy, thank you so much. First round is on you at the brewery program there. Thanks for making the time today.
Look forward to it, Louie. Thank you.
Awesome. That is Sean Kennedy. He is the president of Niagara College. My thanks to him for joining me today. My thanks to Justin Peeler for directing today's episode. And hey, while you're here, make sure you like and subscribe to CHCH Podcast. You never miss an episode of this show or any of the other great shows we have for you, including Sportsline with Bubba O'Neill. Wherever you found this show, you can find that one as well, or you can go to chch.com/podcast. All right, from all of us here at CHCH, I'm Louie Butko. Have a great day.